Welcome to the channel. This is Geauxgreddy and welcome to Sardinia B, the site of my first ever race as an A+ driver. That's right, I finally made it to the A+ driver rating category. How did I do? Well, you're gonna have to stick around to find out. But before we get to the action, if you could be so kind as to hit the like and or subscribe, I would certainly appreciate it. So it is the moment of truth. How does the lobby look? Not too terrible. I'm ranked 16th. Could be much worse. Probably still get my butt whooped. But hey, at least it's a bunch of familiar names and folks that I practice with and race with. So it's going to come down to qualifying. So how did I do on qualifying? Well, first lap out, I failed to get anyone's slipstream, which was not good. And I made some costly errors during the lap. Coming around here on the last corner before the straight, a little slow through there on the brakes, just a hair too early, and so I didn't get a really good run coming out that last corner, which is so important to a good lap time. And I crossed with a 1:19.396, which wasn't going to do any good. So I hit the exit, pop the start, go right back in. This time I find Mr. BR383, try and stick it into his slipstream, and I do a fairly good job of it. He was fourth in the standings on his prior lap, so I thought that was a pretty good person to jump in behind, and I get loose right there coming out of that exit, so couldn't really stay in and slip very well for my hot lap here, and unfortunately just didn't get the suck that I needed. But hey, that's my fault. That's qualifying. If you're going to use that slipstream to assist yourself around the track, you better be able to get in it and stay in it. I wasn't able to do so, but I did improve my time. Crossed with a 19.028, so picked up a little more than 3/10, which was good for a P12. Not too terrible for my first A+ lobby. Pretty happy about that. Start of the race. Moment of truth. Time to put in good quality laps. I am starting on the medium tires. Again, as with every race, you just want to get through corner one alive so you have a chance for a top 10 finish or a top 5 finish. Get off the gas, get onto the brakes right there, and I'll let myself speak for myself.
Come on, dude. What the fuck?
Yes, exactly. So this gentleman decides to send it there on lap 1, knocks me off the track, and he hits the Supra, I believe it was, that was in front of me. Nearly takes him out. Nearly takes two of us out. So yeah, all that qualifying, I may as well just have sat there and not even bothered to try, because I started in P19. But luckily, a few people run off the track on hard tires going to the pit, so it promotes me to P16. So P12 to P19 to P16 in one lap, and then guess what? We get some insta karma. Yes. Yes, the gentleman in the Honda sends it, steers it around the Chevy and into the wall. Then, of course, rage quits. So, ruins my race and then rage quits. Great job. Really appreciate that. There's not much you can do about it, though. I mean, you can sit there and whine and cry about it and bitch and moan and complain, or you can put your head down and try and get something done. So that's what I did. Luckily, I made the wise choice in the mid-pack of starting on the medium tires, so I didn't waste any time that would have been on my softs. Getting punted off the track here. Sitting in P15, got Long and Straw in front of me, who has been A+ for a long time. He's been in a lot of my practice lobbies. A really good Porsche driver. So I've got my work cut out for me, and I know that. And I'm just trying to get into his slipstream to save some fuel, so I can get some short shifts, and maybe make a jump at someone in the pit. No telling. I mean, the difference between P1 and P20 was 1.5 seconds. Yes, terrible. That, as I tell myself how terrible I am on that quarter exit, which it was. It wasn't too great, but it wasn't that bad. Anyway, so I'm still a little upset about the start of the race, but I'm trying to calm down, and I brake way too late right there. That is not going to help my case. That cost me probably about 0.8 of a second, maybe more.
Come on.
So there we go. I'm talking to myself. Got to get together. Then what do? I run wide right there. My nerves have gotten the best of me. I'm rattled. And at this point in the race, I said, it's time to just make perfect laps. Just hit your brake markers where you need to and quit driving like an idiot. So that's what I did. And I reeled back in long as straw. I got within 1.1 second. As you can see, got a gentleman up front with a penalty. So he's going to be serving his penalty soon, which means I may actually make up a position. So, like I said, it took quite a few laps. I mean, we're on lap 9 here. But I finally got into the slipstream along a straw. Like I said, I'm on the medium tires, so I get to switch over onto softs for the end of the race. So I'm maybe make up some time on some folks that way. As you can see, if you look up the mini map in the upper right-hand corner, it's not like I'm half a lap behind everybody. I mean, they're just right around. The P1 is not that far, only 16 seconds away. I say only 16. We're halfway through the race. But considering the start I had, and the lobby, I was like, heck, it could be a lot worse than this. A lot worse. So, hey, not too terrible. So like I said, just going to keep that head down and try and reel in long as straw. Coming across pit lanes, you can see some folks jumping in to the pits there, coming out from the softs on the medium. So Nova SS here coming out just as I'm reeling in long as straw. Couldn't have made the timing like any worse, but I'm not going to send it down the inside as someone who just came out on some fresh mediums. I figured I may as well use the slipstream to keep me in touch with long as straw. So that's what I did. I just hopped in behind them there. I didn't try to press that corner. Just jumped in behind them. Make the smart life choice and know when to pull out. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I did. Fast forward. Again, just staying on the backside of Nova SS. Trying to stay in the semblance of the slipstream of someone. Trying to hit that shift either at half or 3/4, kind of depending on where I am on the track and how I'm feeling. And as a few more people jump out of the pit right in front of me. And I tell you what, longest straw, I mean, he was in the right spot most of this race to miss those guys coming out of the pit right there. If I could have just been right there on his bumper, it would have worked out a little bit better for me. But I wasn't. So, again, now I'm behind Russ Robit here and trying to do the same thing I did when Nova SS came out of the pits. Just stay in the slipstream. It's lap 11. I'm in 11th place. This is my last lap on the medium tires. I opted for the 11 medium, 1 hard, 10 soft strategy. So this is my last lap of mediums. My times have been pretty consistent, as you can see on the right-hand side. So that's good. All I need to do is get in there and get on these hard tires, come out, make a good lap on the hards. I am absolutely terrible on the hard tires because I just never spent any time on them in practice, no more than a lap, actually. So right here, I want a good little exit here. Just going to come into the pits hot. Hopefully I've saved good fuel. Long as straw comes in front of me, so I'm going to get an idea how I did on the fuel. So I come in, I have 46% fuel. Long as straw has 45, so I did pretty good on fuel. The other gentleman that was in there with us had 41%, so I'm decent on fuel. I come out on the hards. Now, long as straw is behind me now. He opted to go ahead and put in the fuel. So he's 2.5-ish seconds behind me now. And Wise Game in 10th, who was just in 3rd a few moments ago, is now right in front of me. So skip forward to the end of this lap. I jump into the pits behind Andre Sav. I need to grab a little bit of fuel. As you can see, Andre Sav has 39%. I have 41%. Long as straw has 54%. He already added fuel. So I get right just past the diamond, come out, and we come out right behind long as straw and inside of Andre Sav. So I'd move over to the inside to keep that inside line. As you can see that Aston just accelerating out of that pit. So we come around side by side. I give him the space on the outside. And I guess you can call it, I make the move stick. The move coming out of the pits. Looking in the rearview mirror, he's feeling gamey. So he gives me a little peekaboo to the inside, but I don't fall for it. I hit my braking point right where it's supposed to be. Again, all just filling up my rearview mirror with that Aston. But, I'm going to stay calm. I'm going to stay cool. I'm just going to race my line, hit my brake markers. Like I said at the beginning, just try to run perfect laps. I understand my laps are not perfect, but that was the goal. Concentrate, try to run perfect laps. He looks down the inside again, just a tiniest touches on the rear bumper there. from Andre. No big deal, not a problem. As I again work at trying to get into that slipstream of longest straw. So I got one eyeball on longest straw, and I got one eyeball on Andre Sav behind me, and I'm feeling a little cross-eyed right about now. Now, if you look on the left side, you can see Andre Sav within 3/10 with that ass and that big V8. Another person slides in the pits there, so we're going to get a little promotion. That big V8 pulling hard on me. He is going to send it down the inside. There's really not anything I can do here. He's just got too much power. So I'm going to brake as late as I can. He brakes even later, a little too late. So I slam it down the inside, get the undercut, cut it back on the inside of him, and power it on through the corner on the inside line, keeping him at bay. He looks down the inside again. I get on the brakes late, but I leave a little bit of room on that inside because he looked like he was getting a little testy there, and he touches my left rear quarter panel. And let's go back and let's have a look at that, because that's going to be a little bit costly there for Andre as he tries to put it down the inside there. So he comes in here. He brakes even later than I do. I leave a little room on the inside for him there. He just touches me, just a hair, gets a whole second penalty for that. Now, I did feel the bump, but it wasn't like it moved me or anything. Anyway, that was weird. So that sucked for Andre. So he's got a second penalty to serve, and I'm thinking, okay, cool. I'm maybe be able to get out of the slipstream of this Aston. Get him off my ass. Done. No. That was a terrible joke. Anyway, so he serves his penalty. I'm like, sweet. I'm finally going to get out of his slipstream. I look down to my left, and he lost like 6/10. So the penalty box there, the penalty area, right before a breaking point. So if you get above a half a second, you don't really lose that much time. So kind of an interesting little conundrum there. Anyway, so a few laps forward here, I'm still working on getting in the longest straws slipstream to try to get on his rear end, and Andre has found his way back into my slipstream, as like I said, the Aston was only 9/10 after he served his penalty. So he looks down to the outside there, and I was a little confused by that, and then I got a second penalty because I didn't expect him to be there when I was running my line. I mean, I've never had anyone try to pass me on the outside of this corner, so I honestly did not expect him to be there at all. So I get a penalty. He runs a little bit wide, but then he runs wide again, gets off into the grass. Does a really good job of saving it, actually. Gets it back on track there. So now it's, everything's reversed. I got a second to serve, and I'm like, oh, geez, Geauxgreddy, come on. And then I go wide there. Add another half second onto it. And I finally had gotten into the slipstream of straw. I just throw it all away in two corners. So come around, down the hill, back up the tight right-hander, heading back uphill. Time to serve my penalty. Now, like I said, it's right here before the braking zone. So once you get above a half second, like the amount of penalty time you served kind of decreases. So really, look, Andre, he caught up about a second on me there. So even though I had a second half penalty, I really only served a second. So I guess in the end, we're even on the crappy penalties. So then this time he goes around the outside. Now I'm thinking, I got this. But he gets it turned nicely there as we come around that left-hander, and I can't power out without just running him off the track. And we've been racing pretty clean up this point, so I don't want to do anything like that. So anyway, it was a nice move by Andre around the outside on corner one there. So I got to tip my hat to him. But that doesn't mean I'm going to give up. So I'm going to stay here on the ass end of the Aston and try to make something happen as we are running out of laps. We are on lap 20 of 22. Now, I've served all my tires. I've put them all on. So this is it for me. Now, my right front soft is looking a little rough, but I feel in control of the car. I don't feel like the car is loose on me or anything. That's the nice thing about the Porsche is even when the tire wear gets pretty bad, when you put that power down coming out the corner, all that rear, the weight is already over the rear axle, so you don't really get that really bad oversteer like you do in some of the other cars. So Andre getting a little loose there coming through that corner. So we try to keep it in the 90s as we come around the final turn, coming down the straight. I got a nice run on Andre, so now I get to reverse it a little bit. I get to put the pressure on him. So now he is going to protect the inside line here. He's going to move over to the left. I'm going to go along the outside. Brake late there's really not going to be anything there for me. I get in on the apex, get back on the gas, but the power of that ass and just able to pull himself out of that corner. Actually upshifted a little bit early just not to hit him from behind. You get some other stupid penalty for who knows what. Get on the brakes here. Going to peek down the inside. See if I can get a good run on the ass and out of this corner, because I know his tires are probably starting to suffer maybe a little bit more than mine, especially in the rear. And I'm catching him coming out of these corners. Just trying to get on the gas early. See if I can't, make something happen. Now, it's really hard because that car's got such nice acceleration. There's that mid-range up to high range. It just really accelerates pretty darn well. So it's going to be difficult for me to do. As I look at my rearview mirror, and now I've got closer 1138 on my back bumper. I'm like, oh no! So now I can't really fool around much with Andre here. I just need to get in the slipstream and try to hold on to a 12th place. If something presents itself, I'll take it. But now I don't really want to fight, at least until the last couple of corners, because closer's on fresh tires in that vet, and I make a little bobble there coming out the final turn, and then Andre Saab does about the worst thing he can do for me. He goes into the pits. And I'm like, no, you can leave me alone with this Corvette. You can't do this to me. I was just in the lobby with Closer before this, and he threw out a little apology to me for an incident that happened in Tokyo a long time ago. So anyway, just taking the opportunity to say I was appreciative of that. And no worries, I've long forgotten that incident. So we're going to race clean here, and Closer does a really nice job. He peeks on the inside there with that vet, and I got to be honest with you, I don't like the thought of a vet on fresh tires on the rear end, especially coming on this corner, because this is where it could really shine. But he gets a bad exit out of there. Now I don't know if he was paying a little bit too much attention to his rearview mirror, because he had BR 383 right behind him in that Ford GT. So his rearview mirror was getting filled up too. So here we are on the last lap, last few corners. I've just got to make some decent exits to keep that Corvette from getting too good a run on me. I got to put it on the apex here, as he is looking for any opportunity to make a pass. He's within 0.3 of my back bumper, so he can make something happen with a good exit here. It looks like he even backs off a tiny bit to try and make something happen, maybe get a good run on me. But I have a pretty darn good final corner for being on Warren Softs, and he is making a run. He's within 1/10. He's within 700ths as we finish 600ths apart. So good job there at the end from Closer. Finished behind Turpy Urphy. Turpy was having some brake pedal problems, and as you can hear, I'm pretty excited about a 10th. I've never been this excited about a 10th in a long time. So take that 10th from 19th. Basically, I just gave everybody a head start and said I'll try and come catch you. Did a pretty decent job. I've got 164 points. Not bad, but pretty pleased with my first A+ lobby. Thought I did well. So appreciate y'all joining on and watching the race. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead and hit that like and or smash the subscribe if you would be so kind as to do so. I would appreciate it. And come back and watch some more videos. I'm going to probably continue to do Manufacturer Series races, but I think I'm going to start to try to get some of the trophies finished out in GT Sport. I only have 5 left, and one of them is, I think it's like 91 pole positions. Is it 91? No, it's 91 wins and like 60-something pole positions. So I think I'm going to start doing some daily races and try and get those knocked out so I can get all my trophies done in Gran Turismo Sport, because I'm OCD like that. So that's what's going to happen. So anyway, again, for myself, Geauxgreddy, thanks for joining us, and y'all have a great evening. DJ Clean, take us out of here.